Don't worry guys, I'm not here to FUD Tesla. It's a fantastic company
of inference compute.
Amazing leader with a great outlook. But in little over a week, Apple will launch their next iPhone. And we have a classical pattern in the chart. Can you see which one? I actually bought some more Apple stocks yesterday. But I did it for another reason. I have a very useful principle. And today, I will give you that principle. It's not what you expect. It's not Lars Online, even though it is up for Apple on both weekly and bi-weekly candles. I hope that today's video will be one that you will remember many years down the line. And that's not only daydreaming on my side, because I actually published this video 3 years ago when I was just playing around with basically no subscribers. So almost no one found it. But those that did have written to me years later and shared that it really had a huge impact on their mindset and on their life. This video literally gives you free iPhones for life and a free Tesla. Let's play the video. Tjena, do you still pay for tech? What if I told you you can get your cell phone for free, computer for free, your camera for free, your car for free, table fan for free? No, not your table fan, you're gonna have to pay for that one. This is not a giveaway to one rare person out of 1 million. I don't know about you, but I never win any lotteries. No, you can all get it. And not just once. New phone upgrades all your life, all for free. Sounds too good to be true? Then what if I told you that not only do you get it for free, you receive money too? Ah, now you're thinking, it's some kind of work, some online marketing or something. No. No work, zero work, just receive free tech and free money. And not little money either, a lot of money. Now you're probably sure that I'm pulling your leg here or I'm gonna promote some kind of scam. So let's make a deal here. If at the end of this video I've shown you how to do this and you've discovered for yourself that it is true, not for me but for you, you have to subscribe, like, comment, turn on the bell, okay? Done? Good. This is not for everyone and everything. This only works if 3 criteria are met. Number 1, you are somewhat of an early tech adopter. If your grandmom buys the tech before you, then this is not for you. But I think the overwhelming majority of you guys here are quite early adopters of tech. That's why you are here on this channel. Number 2, the tech has to be somewhat early. That's why the table fan is out. It's looked basically the same for 140 years. Number 3, you have to have some eye for what tech has promised. If you were the last guy or girl standing in 2017 who swore that Windows Phone was the mobile operating system of the future, this might not work for you. Okay, let's do it. Now I want you to recall, when did you get your first iPhone or your first Android device? Just a year. Phones used to be cheaper, but let's make it easy to calculate. Let's say you spend $1,000 because maybe you bought some apps you never used and you cracked the screen once. For me, I had free phones from work, so the first iPhone that I actually bought was the iPhone 3GS in 2009. Then I will go in here, I will look in 2009, $22. Now the rule is that if I buy a piece of tech, I have to buy the stock at the same amount at the same time. So those $1,000, now today in August 24, 2020 with Apple at $497, is worth $22,000. So not only did I get that phone for free, I made $20,000 from buying that iPhone with this rule. But say that I had bought an Android instead. Android phones are 2 companies, the software and the hardware. Say it was a Samsung. Then I have to split those $1,000 in half, Samsung $500 and Google $500. Then we go in here, July 2009, 12,500 South Korean won, which was $9.8. Today in August 2020 at 56,100 won. Google, July 2009, 210. Today, 2020, $1,575. That computes to those $1,000 is now $6,147. Now you do this exercise. Maybe you weren't as early as me, but that's not necessary. Check your gadgets around. Your phone, like I showed you. If you have a Mac computer, When did you get your first Mac? Look at the Apple chart. If you have a PC, break it down. You probably bought an Nvidia graphics card, right, to play those high FPS games? So when did you get your first Nvidia card? Then look in the chart. If you ever had a Samsung TV, when did you buy your first Samsung TV? Then up the game one level. Starting from when you wanted to buy it, even if you couldn't afford it. So even if you don't have a Tesla, but you want a Tesla, when would you first have bought one? If you had the money. Expand this to tech stuff that doesn't charge you money, but you spend the time in it. If you have a Gmail account, when did you sign up for it? If you had a Facebook account or you have an Instagram account, when did you sign up for it and start investing your time in it? Now this was just for the first purchase, right? The rule is that every time you buy a gadget, you have to put the same amount into the stock of that company. Now your objection might be, but then everything cost me double, I can't afford it. Yes, you can, because you can use profits from the earlier deals. If you do this for your own case, not mine, I think you'll be shocked at seeing the total amount of money you would have made. This is called backtesting. If there is overwhelming evidence that it worked backwards, that is not a guarantee that it will work forward, but there are decent chances that it will, because history does tend to repeat itself. And tech innovation is by no means over. If anything, it's accelerating. There are two things to investing: what and when, and normally you need both, right? What I just showed you, but when I can't explain to you in 10-minute YouTube video, it takes a lifetime to master and you need tools and education. This can all work without it. Why? Because gadgets you tend to buy regularly, like phones or computers or even TVs and cars. You spend a similar amount at regular time intervals. Let's take an exaggerated example. Let's say the stock costs $100 the first time you buy your phone. The second year it has crashed to $1, and the third year is right in the middle at $50. And you buy a phone each year. Then what's your average purchase price? 50, right? No, it's not 50. Your $1,000 got you 10 stocks the first year. It got you 1,000 stocks the second year, and the third year you got 20 stocks. That means you spent a total of 3,000 and you got 1,030 stocks. Your average purchase price is 3, not 50. This is called dollar cost averaging. Fluctuations in the price is good as long as it doesn't always continue down. This education is not for this Monday or even for this year, it's for your whole life. Also, this is not a blanket advice. There are devils in details. Do educate yourself first. Please understand that this will not work every time or even most of the time. Most tech companies don't make it. Tech investment is a game of asymmetrical returns. 10 or 20% of the attempts will make 80 to 90% of the returns. This works when you're early on a trend. It doesn't work at the end of the trend. Let's take a few examples. Does this work if you buy a new Volvo? No, because if anything, the Volvo from 50 years ago was freaking cooler than it is today. Does it work when you first realized Tesla was cool? Yes, because that was early on a new tech trend. That was the first AI car that could realistically drive itself. There was innovation in battery technology, etc. Does it work if you buy that super cool 300mm f2.8 lens? No, because my granddad in 1970s had a 300mm f2.8 lens. That's more or less the same lens that people are buying today 50 years later for $5,000. The camera form factor hasn't changed, the lens is almost the same, and if you print the resulting photo you couldn't tell if this was taken with tech from 50 years ago or from today. Compare that with the development in graphics cards, in smartphones, in computers, social media software, games, new tech that will come in VR and things we can't even imagine yet. Sony could be different here because they have an image sensor business and they're going hard on gaming. So I will follow this rule now that I'm getting a lot of Sony a7S III gear. And I'll make a detailed video about the Sony stock. 1% of people have all the money. You need to move from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset. So what technology was promising? You knew all along, probably better than those bankers, thanks to your interest in tech. That's why you bought those gadgets. If you do this consistently over the course of your life, meeting those 3 criteria, and you do it well, you can turn your interest in tech gadgets from a money sink into a money maker of life-changing wealth and get your tech for free. So no more feeling guilty buying gadgets. Now remember our deal. Did I live up to my side? Welcome back to the present. So Apple usually announces the iPhones in mid-September, right? So say you buy your iPhone in mid-September and stocks on the same day, say 15th of September. And let's check since the video was published in August 2020. So we can determine if this principle worked or not, or if it was just an after construction. So last year, 15th of September 2022, price was $153. And we take the prices compensated for splits and so on. And say we spent $1,000, share price 153, then we get 6.5 shares. The year before, actually let's switch to weekly candles here so this gets a little bit easier to see what is actually happening. September 2021, price was 147, 6.8 shares. Let's go to 2020, price was 110, we get 9.1 shares. So total we've gotten 22 shares. Share price today is 187.65. So those shares are worth, you spent 3,000, it's worth 4,209. Profit is 1,209. And if we go back a little earlier, September 2019, price was 54. We got 18 shares. September 2018, price was 55. We got another 18 shares. September 2017, price was 38. We're now $10,000 in profit. I don't know when you bought your first iPhone, but you can complete this exercise yourself. So basically, free iPhones every year, and then plus some profit. I mentioned Nvidia in that video. I made a dedicated video about Nvidia a couple of days ago here, 2 days ago. If you bought an Nvidia graphics card back in the day, say you spent $300 on an Nvidia GeForce 256 DDR, if anyone remembers those. It launched in October 1999 when price was 0.44. Converted for all the splits. Today price is 492. 492 divided by 0.44 times 300. So that's worth 335,000 US dollars. And that's if you ever only bought one graphics card. I probably bought 10 over a few years. So we're talking about millions of dollars here. I didn't follow this principle at the time. I didn't see myself as an investor. When I published this video on August 26, 2020. Some commented at that time that it's too late, that the appreciation in tech has already happened. So let's look at Tesla then. On August 26, 2020, the chart looked like this. And many said it's no point, appreciation has already happened, this huge bull run has already happened. So let's check. On that day, price opened at $137. Let's see what happened. Well, price actually went up to $410. Then you actually had 2 Teslas for free and not just one if you followed this at that time. Then we got the Head and Shoulders, which reached the target exactly. And today price is at 256, so still one free Tesla for you. You can complete this for the technology that you have used in your own life over the years and see if it worked for you. We're all different. Maybe you've had a Microsoft Office subscription, for example. Or did you do Netflix and chill back in the days with your boyfriend or girlfriend? Did you perhaps Google something in 2015? Did you maybe have a Facebook account 10 years ago? Then think about what is new in this cycle now. What technology are you excited about now? And an optional addition. You don't have to buy it immediately. If the chart pattern is bearish and Lars Online is down, then wait to buy that until we have a bullish chart pattern and Lars Online is gold. One of the easiest to chart stocks has actually been Tesla. I covered it in my course already when I recorded it. We talked about this entry here, which is now at $12, compensating for the splits. Broke out of the rectangle, Lars Online gold. Then it ran up and we got this Head and Shoulders textbook. And if we zoom in a little, you can see here on the logarithmic chart that the breakdown target was exactly met. You measure it from the top of the head to the neckline and then add that distance from the breakdown. I personally do this as well on logarithmic charts. Then Lars Online turned down on the weekly, and then you see we got a cup and handle formation here. I can make this one a little thicker. If you look at the orange line, see? Then we got the perfect retest. And on the weekly the trend isn't down anymore, and on the daily it already turned around the time that the horizontal boundary of this cup and handle formation broke out. And then look at how perfect retest. The market is almost too nice. Now this doesn't always work. Let's look at Zoom for example. I'm not sure anyone still uses it. I always despised the app ever since I first used it in 2017 and then learned that they actually installed some kind of almost like Trojan horse that sat there and listened to incoming connections even after you installed the app. They've long since removed that, but that really rubbed me the wrong way and I didn't like Zoom ever since. But let's forget about that for a moment and let's just look at the chart. It had this beautiful run-up, straight line on the logarithmic chart, large online gold. From the gold flip, it went from 70 up to 580. So huge profit, but then that parabola broke, large online turned down, and basically been down ever since, all the way back again. So even if you're a huge Zoom fan, if you combine this principle with some basic trend following and technical analysis, you improve on it dramatically. So the chart pattern in Apple then. It's an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, return to the neckline. Head, return to the neckline. Right shoulder, return to the neckline and breakout. And now this target, measured as the distance from the neckline to the head from the breakout point, this target is close to being met now already. If you found this that I've taught today, perhaps you'll find my course useful too. It's at ctolarsson.com, everything else is a scam, and you click here where it says course and indicator. Any and every investment is risky. This is not a blanket formula that will work for everyone all the time. Education, investing in yourself, remains the best ROI, return of investment in my opinion. I hope this video will help you go from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset. And watch the next video. Thank you. Tack. CTO Larsson out. You're gonna have to pay for this one.